Well, hello and welcome along to this first part of two-part how to create a winter wonderland, shall we say. So what I'm showing you at the moment is where we're going to get to, and this is the full version of it. What you'll see there is there's a couple of effects, one being from Fusion. So we're not going to cover the Fusion today, we're going to keep it nice and simple, and I'm just going to copy the raw footage so that we've got nothing done to it yet. So this is the raw footage copied from the first scene. As I can see at the moment, I haven't done a thing, and this is what we need to know. So how did we do it? Well, we first of all started with a serial node. We're going to do something to the node, so we're going to go into saturation and we're going to desaturate the color way down to 1.4. and now that's gone like a very grey colour, which you would expect if it's going to be a snowy scene. You don't see much going on there with the colours there, it's just been desaturated. So we're going to change the offset slightly just by bringing the main offset down to, let's see now, let's go down to somewhere around the 20, which should do us. I mean, you can use these figures as a starting point yourselves. Depends on your own footage how it is, but if you're looking at the actual scopes at this stage, you're trying to get a slight curve on the bottom, just so it's not flat and it's all down at the bottom. You want a little bit of separation. So on the contrast, I'm just going to eyeball it again, take it down to somewhere, let's see, about 690, something like that. That should do. You're kind of getting a kind of grey cast all over now, and that's what you're aiming for as your initial setting. So if you use that, the main thing here is you're trying to get to an overall greyness. And all will become clear in a minute when we go to the curves. But that's the kind of setting we're trying to make. So when you've got this overall greyness, now you see on the scopes, you can see at the moment on the scopes, you've got like a middling area. That's where we want to be. Now we're going to expand it out until we go top to bottom, and we're going to get the full width. I don't talk very technical here, but I'm talking as much as I can see. So you could just copy the settings for now, but we'll get into it now when we go into the curves. Okay, that's just a starting point. Don't worry about it if you're not exactly the same. It can all be altered later. There's no real problem. Okay, here we are in the curves. Now, what we want to do is basically overexpose the image. So push up as high as you can till you see the white snow effect starting to appear. You see, you're almost at the top there. See how white it is? But of course, it's completely blown out. Don't forget, we're not color correcting at this stage. We're trying to create winter. Okay, so just a little bit of a curve, very, very slight curve. Now, if you look how flat at the top it is, if you change this top part on the curves, you will get a very strange thing happening. Watch this. I'll just pull it down a bit more. Here we go. All the way down with the offset. So now we've got a bit of detail coming back in the image. That's why I said it's just a starting point at the beginning. And we're in a kind of ballpark figure for what we class as a snowy scene now, because we kind of gone to negative almost. But it's not obviously negative. It's just a white and black, which is what you kind of get with snow, isn't it? So there we are. Play it through a bit. And we're kind of 90% of the way there, but there's some things we need to enhance. because snow, once it's actually on the ground or lying on anything, it blurs it, kind of, doesn't it? So we're going to need to introduce some kind of a blur to the image now, and what we'll use the tilt shift, and we'll leave all these other settings kind of where we are. Okay, everything there is looking good. I'm just having a quick look around just to make sure everything's in its way where I want it to be. I'm not losing anything. Right, here we go. So, oh, hang on just a minute. Not from nodes. We want to keep the nodes. Get rid of the timeline. We don't need the timeline, and we do need the effects. Right, okay. So, oops, messing about here. Probably should edit this out, really. But anyway, let's get on with it. So here we go. We need to make this area blurry, as the snow was there. So let's just drop the tilt shift straight on and see what we get. And automatically, by just dropping it on with the settings that it's got, we're getting a softening of that snowy kind of feel, because you're blurring the image with a tilt shift. You're blurring the image in the foreground and in the background, and you're leaving an area in the middle kind of in focus. So that's what you're doing. You're tilt shifting the blur from the bottom to the top. So if you look at that now, that is probably 95% of the way there to the Narnia. So within what, I don't know, 5 minutes, we've done the majority of the work. Okay, we just turn that off. You see what I mean? And then put that on, and then you can see how soft it looks. Okay, guys. Now the other thing that there is something that you can refine it with is the angle. So let's go to the angle of this, and we're going to switch it to there we go, about there, because nothing's worse than someone saying, oh, you got to be a definite angle of this, definite angle. You don't. You just eyeball everything. So you can see I'm looking like a hill. I'm on a hill, kind of an incline. That's because I want it to start blurring on the left-hand side slightly higher up, because there's more leaves there. And then lower down we can go with. So we're tilting because of the way the path is, the way the orientation of the filming is. So that's another little tip for you, just to bring in the blur higher up on the left-hand side where the leaves are. So I'm going to say that's where we're going to leave it for today. It's only a short one. I didn't want to overburden you. You need to start playing around with it and get ready for part 2, which is where I'm going to see the snow area there. Now, there's 2 ways of doing it. In my way, you can do it with the Fusion, which we'll do in Fusion, or you could just put a layer of snow over the top. Whichever way you find the easiest, that's the way to go about. I will be doing part 2 with the Fusion snow. Hope you liked it. Hope you could get a little bit of interest, a bit of inspiration. Remember, mainly the curve shape is what's going to get you to the snow saturation look. Mainly, don't go too far. If you can see, oh, you're overcooking it there, and you're bringing it down. So, tip there: remain at the top. Don't be pushing it around. Just keeping this nice top curve. Keep it at the start and at the bottom. And you shouldn't go far wrong, because you'll find that if you do, you'll push those down, and you need that separation. So there we are, guys. If you like what you hear or see, please think about subscribing. It will do my channel wonders and make me do it quicker and speed up for the second part. Bye for now.